Hello, everybody. It's Christi Karate with Christi's Clarity, 10:10 every Friday. And what I am doing is helping you discover how to create your best life. Did you know that there is a thinking stuff which from which all things are made and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe? A thought in that substance produces the thing that is imagined by the thought. You can form things in your thought, and by impressing your thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing you think about to be created. Now, that's a statement by Wallace Wattles. Do you know when this book was written? It's called The Science of Getting Rich, and it was written in the 1920s. So even back there, they knew this, and now this is all being proved by quantum physics. That you can go on YouTube and look up. There's a cartoon called the I'll think of it. But anyway, it's the split atom experiment or something like that, and it's by Dr. Quantum. Go look up Dr. Quantum on YouTube, and they explain how the viewer affects how things go out into the world. That means our thoughts. That's what we are, right? And so in this book, one of the books that I teach from, which is called the Universal, the Working with the Law by Raymond Hollywell, he has a poem in the back that says, "If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't." And you kind of get the gist of the poem, and it says, but soon or late, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Now, there's a little more deep information around that I find is really important to work with people around. And that is that there is a subconscious part of us that is actually more powerful and running us all the time, more powerful than the current surface thoughts that we're having. We can only counteract those thoughts by the surface thoughts that we're having. And in the beginning, we want to discover what those thoughts are so we can experience changing those thoughts so that we can then make those conscious changes around our subconscious thinking. But eventually you don't even have to do that. You can do just what Raymond Hollywell said, which is the man who thinks he can win can win. Now remember, all these books were written in the 1920s. Don't let that stop you understanding, the gender thing, right? Anyone can have what they think they want. And I have so many people that say, "Oh, I already know that." And when they say that, I said, "Tell me about the circumstances and conditions that you're experiencing in your life that you don't want to be experiencing." And a lot of times the things that are outside of them, well, I have no control over the government. I have no control over the cost of gas. I have no control over. In that moment, that's part of their thinking and that's part of their belief, and they are turning that over to a power outside of themselves. And what I work with in working with the universal laws for, what is it now, about 40 years, is that even those circumstances and conditions can be changed for ourselves and within ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean we change the price of gas, but it may be that we find in our thinking that we are no longer limited by the outside circumstances. So I think in my mind, I want to show you this drawing, and I bet I have one in my book right here. So one of the things that's, and can you tell that when I do these things, all of these great teaching points come up. And yes, here's an example of that. And and I just get so excited about this. So here in my book, Beyond the Box book, which is what we're teaching from over the next couple of months here, is this little chart, and I'm going to hold it up really close. This is low tech on high technology, right? I have to figure out how to. My camera is backwards, right? Okay, so there we go. Okay, notice the axes on this. Notice the horizontal, the vertical axis says truth, I am, and the facts axis says money conditions, status quo thinking. What I want you to know is where those two things intersect, your understanding of the universal laws is where your vertical circumstances and conditions lives, because that is your understanding. That's your frequency. That's your vibration. Now, what I started to say with my clients is I look around and say, what are those conditions? Are they what you want to be? If they are not what you want to be, you know about thought creating your experience. You don't know it inside of you. Okay. And so what I want to do today is help you discover ways to not even have to go up and do the excavation of the past, but just notice, oh, wow, look, I'm at the gas station and I'm pumping gas, and am I angry? Am I upset? And that awareness in that moment when you have that awareness, is a great opportunity to really dig down inside and say, and somehow I can move to being grateful. Gratitude is really one of the things that can really change your thinking without having to do the excavation. And here's a saying, I don't know how, I don't know why, but I can move to joy right now. And if you need to think about things that you're grateful for, then go ahead and do that. Now, my son and his new wife are getting ready to go on their honeymoon. They have been planning, they have taken time off of work, they have been so excited about this, right? Guess where they're going? Yellowstone. Guess what just happened in Yellowstone? Flooding, and the first time since in the 1800s, the whole entire park is closed. Oh my gosh, my son immediately went to, why don't I ever get a break? And I'm like, oh, honey, 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 you always get a break. Look at your life. We just built an ADU, a granny unit in the back of our yard for him to be able to live and pay us cheap rent, because we're giving him the family discount so he can live here with his wife and build their careers as EMTs. And, we live in Sonoma County and it's so expensive to live here. Do you have a belief that it's too expensive to live wherever you're living or want to live? Well, it's gonna be just like it said in that poem, that if you think it's too expensive for you to live here, look at, and I know the thinking of my son and his wife, they know this stuff internally, right? So I said, honey, you have a house, a beautiful wife, you have a great job. Come on, let's change this. Let's change this around. Well, what did he do? And I think, yes, I helped him because I love planning trips for one thing, but also I want him to have the most wonderful memory of his honeymoon and have a great time. So we moved his hotel room. They are now staying in Jackson Hole instead of at the northern part of the park. They wanted to go to the Grand Tetons. So now they've got a couple of tours, and I set them up a fishing trip on a lake where they're going to be taught how to fly fish. It's just the two of them out on a boat, right? And all these great things in Tetons. And this Sunday, Yellowstone is supposed to announce what is opening. And I said, honey, you'll be positioned to go in and get either some of the greatest tours or go drive up to Old Faithful or whatever it is. And so now they've got these other things going on, and they're expecting to have, and we're anticipating them having a great a honeymoon. Now, how do you do this kind of stuff, right? Well, my son has me in his life to remind him, right? Make sure that you have people in your life to remind you. I also want to show you this tool that I created once, and it's really exciting. Oh, these cameras, right? I created a switch for success light switch. Now, it is most of us, you notice when you have an insecurity and something's going on, and you remember to flip the switch up, and now I can see it, but you can't. It says empowerment at the top, but you light up, go into the light, bring up that great experience, push it all the way down. And one of the ways I designed this was so that there was a clicking sound up and down, so that it created a kinesthetic feeling as well. So I'm showing you this today so you can do this just in your own mind, or every time you flip on a switch and you flip on the light, go, I'm choosing to move from insecurity to empowerment. So this week, over the weekend, whatever you're doing, is summer is beginning, and we're starting to have that, summer fun kind of feelings. Every time you flip on a light switch, I'm moving to empowerment. I'm moving to empowerment. If you find yourself thinking of insecurity, you can go over to your own light switch and say, I'm moving to empowerment. Now, you can just say that, and that will be a frequency shift. But you can also think, what am I grateful for? As you switch that, I am grateful that I'm breathing, right? I woke up this morning. I'm grateful for that. Today, I'm grateful that my husband and I are going into San Francisco, and we're going to the Conservancy of Flowers, hence the flowery shirt I have today. Like, what a beautiful life. Just remember, we all have the possibilities of do that. Go deep and really think about the thoughts that you're having without knowing that you're having those subconscious thoughts, and replace them with empowerment thoughts. And you can do that with gratitude. This is Christi with Christi's Clarity. Love always serving you, and look forward to seeing you next week.